and comfortable contact lenses to comprehensive exams and professional fittings, we make finding your focus a more enjoyable experience than ever. Right now, buy one pair of glasses and get the second one free, so you can live bolder, look sharper, and see better. Schedule an appointment today to find your focus.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900.
That's AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we could be connected here and there.
Let's watch a movie.
And we have Netflix included to enjoy our favorite shows and movies.
¿Qué tal esta?
Bacanísima, pero ya la vi.
Now the hard part is getting them to agree on a movie.
Switch today and get the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus with Galaxy AI, all on the best network in the U.S. Visit a store, T-Mobile.com, or call 1-800-T-Mobile. 1-800-T-Mobile. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla. Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025.
Meet Barkley. When Barkley smells gas, he leaves fast. When Barkley hears hissing coming from a gas appliance, he leaves fast. When Barkley sees dirt or water shooting from the ground, he leaves fast. Barkley then calls 911 and Southwest Gas from a safe location.
Did that dog just grab a phone and dial 911?
Gas lines can be buried anywhere, so remember to call 911 and Southwest Gas.
Want something fast and fresh for lunch? Try the Peter Piper Pizza All-You-Can-Eat Weekday Lunch Buffet. Available from 11 to 2 every Monday through Friday, Peter Piper Pizza's lunch buffet is loaded with delicious pizza, fresh chopped salad, garlic cheese bread, and our famous cinnamon crunch dessert. Our dough is made from scratch every day and topped with real mozzarella cheese and the freshest ingredients. For the best all-you-can-eat pizza and salad lunch buffet in town, head to Peter Piper Pizza from 11 to 2 every Monday through Friday. At Peter Piper Pizza, the fun is baked in.
You got the paint job, but now you need the materials fast. Get free same-day or next-day delivery on select PPG paints from the Home Depot. Now that's a pro move. Save time on store runs and get free delivery on small or large orders of select items. Save energy shopping around with PPG's wide assortment of colors and finishes all in one place. And save money with Pro Extra, where you can get up to 20% off paints, primers, and stains through Paint Rewards. The Home Depot, how pros get more done.
If you could rewind 10 years, what would you do differently? Buy Apple stock at $20? Skip the Ghost Pepper Challenge? Maybe even rethink the skinny jeans. Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Some regrets are harmless, termite damage isn't. You can't go back in time, but you can keep termites from eating your future. Call 602-BLUE-SKY today for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
Right now at Scottsdale Mitsubishi, you can receive 0% APR for 60 full months on all new 2025 Mitsubishi models. You heard right. 0% APR for 60 months.
Think how much you'll save when you pay no interest.
The name, remember? Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Scottsdale Mitsubishi.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
A major injury for the Arizona Cardinals, learning lessons from the MLB playoffs, and who's to blame for what happened in Week 4 for the Arizona Cardinals. All of it, focus, hour number 1 here at the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060, Chris Schubert with you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Producer Evan is behind the glass. He is ready to take your phone calls today, 480-864-1060. Perhaps you're interested in handing out some slices of blame pie for the Arizona Cardinals, or you want to share your thoughts on what is our top story today, what is the daily special, and that is a major injury for the Arizona Cardinals to deal with.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
I want to take you through the process of putting together the show this morning, because when I first got in here today, our daily special was going to be an update on Trey Benson. because Adam Schefter reported early this morning that Benson's status was up in the air for Sunday's game, but that it didn't seem to be something that was going to derail him much beyond that. That's how we started this morning. Not looking good for Sunday, but not any major concern moving forward. Then it turned into he's going to be on IR. He was placed on IR today, injured reserve by the Arizona Cardinals. Then we learned he had arthroscopic knee surgery on his meniscus, and he is going to miss at least the next 4 to 6 weeks. And that throws everything about this Arizona Cardinals offense into a frenzy, into absolute chaos. Because last Thursday, you saw a team that had to abandon their running game, had to throw their way back into that game against Seattle. They didn't have James Conner. They were down multiple scores early. Emari Demercado was the running back that was on the field a bunch in the second half, especially on the 2 touchdown drives in the fourth quarter. More of the pass catching back. They threw the ball more than 40 times. It was just a complete overhaul of what we have come to expect the Cardinals offense to look like. And I was already going to talk about today that Trey Benson being out for 1 week would have been okay. It's the Tennessee Titans. You're still more talented. You're still the better coaching staff. You're the better football team. So this is not a bad time to miss Trey Benson for a week. You can get back on the horse next week and everything will be okay. Now we have to look at this from a big picture the next 4 to 6 weeks and whether or not you can be without not only James Conner, who will be out for the remainder of the season, but you're also going to be without Trey Benson for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Now, luckily, your bye week falls in there, so it's not 4 to 6 games, but he is out for the next 4 to 6 weeks, and he's on injured reserve. They'll have to activate him off of that, open his window to practice, and who knows coming off of the knee if he's going to be 100% right away. So many different questions about what this offense looks like when Trey Benson comes back. But before we can get there, this team has to get through these next 4 to 6 weeks, and I'll tell you, I'm worried. I'm troubled by what this offense looked like on Thursday in the first half, a little bit into the second half against Seattle. I'm worried about what this offense is going to have to look like because now, instead of it being James Conner RB1, Trey Benson RB1A or RB2, it's Demercado RB1, Michael Carter RB2. What's Zonovan Bam Knight up to? Is he going to be RB3? Is he a candidate for RB2? That's your running back room for a team whose identity is run the football. Their identity is to win in the trenches. They have a defensive-minded coach who loves to play smash-mouth football. The reason why they gave James Conner that extension last year is more so than Kyler Murray, he was the identity, the lifeblood of the Cardinals offense. The way he ran was the energy for the offense. It's how they want to play. Remember, and you don't need me to remind you of this, they ran it back with this offense. They didn't make any changes to this infrastructure because this is the way they want to play. Now they can't play that way. And I don't want to talk bad about Demercado and Michael Carter because I think they're solid running backs that do provide value, and them being on this roster from a depth perspective is putting the Cardinals at least in a position for 1 week where they can evaluate. And boy, is it nice to play the Tennessee Titans this week. Boy, is it nice to play the worst team in football when you're trying to figure out, is this group that we have good enough? Because you're going to have opportunities against Tennessee to find out. But Emari Demercado is not James Conner. Emari Demercado is not Trey Benson. Michael Carter can't replace those two guys. You don't have replacements for both James Conner and Trey Benson. Trey Benson was your James Conner replacement. You don't have a Trey Benson replacement on this roster. And so you've got to decide. Remember yesterday how I said it's time for the Cardinals to be aggressive and go out and get a wide receiver? Is it time to be aggressive and go out and get a running back? Because you don't have James Conner for the remainder of the season. You don't have Michael Carter for at least the next month, probably longer, probably more toward the 6 month plus, 6 week plus side of this. Is it time to be aggressive? Is it time to, I keep bringing up New Orleans, is it time to see if they would trade Alvin Kamara? Is it time to see if the Jets would trade Breece Hall? Is it time to be making phone calls? Because this is, you want to push back and say this isn't a passing offense. They don't need to go out and spend high-end draft capital on a wide receiver too. I disagree, but okay. This is their offense. This is what they do. Running the football is, in my mind, the only way this team can be successful. Their offensive line has been struggling in that regard. Now the backs are compromised. You're on RB3 and RB4 on your depth chart, RB5 if you include Bam Knight. You can't go anywhere if you can't run the football. You don't have a quarterback that I think this organization trusts to take over a game and throw it 35, 40 times. That's not how you're going to win. That's not how you're going to win this division. You don't have the pass-catching group in order to do it. Running the football is what you do. It is your identity. So that aggressiveness conversation from yesterday, just sub out wide receiver 2 for running back, and I think the same thing applies. Aggressiveness needs to be the name of the game. Now, maybe you don't make a move right away. You see how things look against Tennessee, because, again, I don't care that James Conner and Trey Benson aren't playing on Sunday. You're the better football team. You're certainly the better coached football team between you and Tennessee. Should be no reason why you don't win that game on Sunday. And maybe you can evaluate from there at 3-2. But you cannot allow this season. You can't just sit back and say, you know what? We like our group. We're not going to add anybody. We're not going to go trade for somebody. We're just going to let DeMercado and Michael Carter and Bam Knight bridge the gap until Trey Benson returns. That's not an acceptable answer from an organization that has expectations of making the postseason. They announced yesterday a brand new training facility. They're not upgrading the one in Tempe. They're building a brand spanking new one out there, North Phoenix, Scottsdale border, where the Coyotes Arena was going to go, investing a lot of money into that facility. Guess what? The way you pay for that facility, yeah, the owner's going to dump some money in there, but you need the fans to show up. You need the fans to show up to State Farm Stadium. You need fans to spend money on jerseys. You need fans to buy in. In order for you to get the fans to buy in,
make the playoffs.
And an extension of that is you got to be competitive. You have to make people get to November and December and think that they have a chance to watch postseason football, to pack that crowd out. And if you are laissez-faire, if you just sit back and say, you know what, we like our group. This is the group that we built in the offseason. We didn't make any changes. We're just going to let this group play it out. That is a failure of leadership from this front office. No offense to DeMercado and Michael Carter, and if they want to use this as fuel, great, more power to them. That's not a good enough running back room for the way this team wants to play. And I'm sorry, I don't trust this offense to undergo a midseason transformation with the group that they have and all of a sudden be a pass-first group that's throwing the ball 35, 40 times with success. They may try it. They may try it this Sunday against Tennessee out of necessity. But I don't know if I trust them to do it well enough. I don't know if I trust Kyler Murray to execute it. I don't know if I trust the pass-catching group to have enough talent to be able to get it done. I don't know if I trust Drew Petzing to be creative enough to throw the ball more. I don't trust any part of this offense to now, in week 5, week 6, to start pivoting their offense from the way they've played for the last 2+ seasons. I'm sorry, I just don't know if I believe in their ability to do that midseason. So you either have to double down on the way you play now and get aggressive and go trade for a running back, or I think we're going to get to the middle of this season and be talking about a team that missed their chance. Division's still there for the taking. You have an uphill battle, but you got more divisional games. You have a game on Sunday that you should win to get to 3-2. You can still make something of this season. These injuries are happening early enough in the year. These bumps in the road are happening early enough in the year for you to make an adjustment, for you to get aggressive and make the necessary moves to put this team in position. You want the fan base to buy in. If you're Monty, if you're Michael Bidwell, if you're Jonathan Gannon, give them a reason to buy in. Give them a reason. Don't sit back, kick your feet up, and do nothing. Because that's just going to breed complacency. And trust me, I hear it. We have listeners of this program that I hear from you all the time. Michael's one of the big ones over on YouTube who is extremely pessimistic always about the Cardinals, always about Michael Bidwell and Monty doing the necessary aggressive moves, making that bold choice to push the chips in the middle, to try to build a sustainable winner or just a winner in general. I hear you. I get it. Because you haven't been given a reason to think that. This is the chance. Because if not, I don't know what this team's going to look like. Maybe we do this later on this week. Got a pretty jam-packed show here today. But without Trey Benson, I mean, how many games coming up for the Cardinals are winnable outside of this Sunday? Do you expect this team to be able to keep pace with Dallas? Do you expect this team to be able to play well enough against Green Bay?
Yeah, I mean, the schedule has certainly kind of changed in how we feel about some teams, but are they going to score as many points as Indianapolis? It's tough to find wins on there. It's tough to find wins. You are down your two major players in the running back room. You don't have a wide receiver room to speak of. Let's just be honest. And I'm not trying to harp on Marv and the issues that he's had and the struggles that he's had at the beginning of the season. The room in general just isn't good enough. And so now you don't have the running game that you need. You may want to lean more into the passing game, and I don't think you can do it. I'm just being honest. I don't think this team can throw the ball the way that they need to overcome the shortcomings that they're going to have in the running game now. Maybe they can prove me wrong. And certainly Sunday is a chance to do that against Tennessee. But boy, if you struggle to throw the ball against Tennessee, if you try to air it out on Sunday and you struggle, I don't know when I'm going to believe in Kyler Murray, in Drew Petzing, in this pass-catching group to be able to get it done. That's how important and that's how bad this injury to Trey Benson is, because you've already lost James Conner. And Trey Benson, we talked about it, had all of the makings on his resume of being able to be an RB1. And so you were okay. You kind of planned for this. You had a good backup option. You were prepared. Now, I'm not blaming you for not having a really good RB3 or RB4 and being ready to go. That's unfair of me to put that on you as a general manager and as a coaching staff. But what I can put on you is what you do with it. What you do from here. What you do today. What you do tomorrow. What you do on Friday. The next couple of weeks up until the trade deadline. That is on you. How you react to all of this is on you. It's not your fault that you're on RB3 going into week 5, and that RB3 isn't up to the standard of James Conner and Trey Benson. That's not on you as an organization. Nobody can prepare for that across football. But how you react to something like this is very, very important. And I think it's going to be very, very telling, one, into how good of a GM Monty Ossenfort is, and two, how much they believe in this current team. You're going to tell me with your actions over the next couple of weeks what you do in the wake of Trey Benson going down and not having the running back duo that you need in order to run your offense efficiently. How you react to that is going to tell me a lot about how you feel about this team. This didn't happen in week 12 when we're post-trade deadline and you have to figure it out. You have the opportunity to fight out of this. You really do.
If it's week 12, trade deadline's behind you, you're just looking at, the waiver wire, you're looking at signing guys off of practice squads, I'll give you the mulligan. I'll be fair and reasonable and say, not really a whole lot you can do. It's week 4, about to be week 5, starting tomorrow night. You have plenty, and I mean plenty of time to address this. And yeah, guess what? It's going to cost you more than you're probably comfortable giving up to get Alvin Kamara out of New Orleans, to get Breece Hall out of New York, to get another running back. And I'll be honest, I haven't done a full deep dive into what running backs may be available across the sport other than those two teams, because I know they're in the bottom and they're winless in football. But you've got time to go out and get somebody, and it is going to cost a pretty penny. But guess what? If you believe in this team and you are under a mandate to make the postseason, sometimes you got to throw caution to the wind. And so far, in the 2+ years that this group has been here, they haven't really done that. This feels like a perfect time to start. Everybody would understand if you maybe paid a little bit more to get Breece Hall out of New York. If you paid a little bit to get a veteran running back in Alvin Kamara out of New Orleans. I think everybody would understand.
Not only would people understand, people would want that.
Yeah, people
want you to be aggressive.
They are desperate for you to show signs of believing in this team and showing signs of being a winning organization and being a winning general manager and grabbing the bull by the horns and making a move to make your team better midseason to capitalize on an opportunity.
This team, we're at week 5. The playoffs are still absolutely the goal. Absolutely the expectation for this team. And they've got to play better to get there, but the expectation still is make the postseason. And if they fall short, a lot of questions are going to be asked. So if you're Monty, wouldn't you want to do everything in your power to make sure those questions don't get asked? I certainly would if I was sitting in the chair. So Trey Benson out for at least the next 4 to 6 weeks. He was placed on IR, so guaranteed the next 4 weeks he's out. Now, I believe the Cardinals' bye falls in that 4-week stretch. So he will miss at least 3 games, maybe a little bit more. Had surgery on his meniscus on his knee. The expectation is that he will be able to come back this season, but at least the next 4 to 6 weeks he will be out for. So something to monitor. And now we'll see what the Cardinals' reaction is to this, what they decide to do. We learned this news today. They've probably had it for the last 24 hours or so. Hard to make a move midweek like this, but they should definitely be laying the foundation to making this move for week 6. Certainly, they should be on the phone, working the phones, trying to see what's out there for them to make this room better, because I just don't think it's good enough. And I think the offense is going to struggle. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. Would love to hear from you, your thoughts. Do you still believe in this Cardinals team without Trey Benson? Do you think this team can still make the postseason now that they're down RB1 and RB1A? They are down to both of their top options for what is supposed to be the lifeblood, the nucleus of this offense. They're going to be without it for the remainder of the season. Do you think they can still make the playoffs? Would love to hear from you. 480-864-1060 on that front. When we come back, it was just one day of playoff action, but boy, was there a major lesson that can be learned for the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's next. The lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
Even if Troy Aikman pretty much said the NFL product sucked last night, he's not wrong. I thought this was supposed to be a brand new Jets. They're more dysfunctional and more undisciplined than ever. You know what would actually be brand new for the Jets? A new head coach starting 0-5. That has never happened, but it looks like there's a very good chance it's about to happen.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Head coach Brian Wright and the Lumberjacks are setting a new standard in Flagstaff.
Happy with our attitude, our effort, how we've come together as a football team.
Join us Saturday. NAU hosts the Montana State Bobcats. Our coverage begins at 1 on your home for Lumberjack football.
Skips his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Lumberjacks.
The NAU Lumberjack Sports Network from Learfield.
Millions of fans agree. This Christmas tradition rocks. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert, presenting the Ghosts of Christmas Eve, the best of TSO and more. November 30th, 2 shows, 3 and 7:30 p.m. PHX Arena. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, presented by 100.7 KSLX.
Connect directly, bid confidently. At Purple Wave Auction, transparency is key. With no reserves and no hidden surprises, you're connected directly to sellers so you can inspect and bid on quality equipment with confidence. Whether you're looking for ag, construction, or fleet equipment, we're here to ensure a clear, hassle-free experience. Register today at purplewave.com and start bidding with peace of mind. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner at A1 Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. Call A1 Garage Door Service, and you'll be smiling today.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. I've always said bad football is better than no football, but the Jets are definitely testing that theory because watching them through 4 games, and especially last night against the previously winless Dolphins, who lost their star wide receiver to a horrific knee injury, I'm telling you, that is one bad and unwatchable football team. First-year head coach Aaron Glenn was crowing a week ago that these aren't, quote, the same old Jets. And he's not wrong. They're not the same old Jets. They're even worse. How do you hire a defensive-minded head coach and then get that much worse defensively? That was the only thing that wasn't broken when he was hired, and then he promptly goes out and he wrecks that too. The Jets have had a lot of bad coaches, but none of them have ever started their tenure 0-5. But given that they've got the Cowboys next, Glenn is in near lock to become the first. My man, as soon as you're done lighting up your team for how horrible it is, look in the mirror and have some yourself. I'm Jim Rome.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We've got trade wars, rising costs, global chaos, and a skyrocketing national debt. It's no wonder gold keeps hitting record highs. With everything going on in the world, thousands of hardworking Americans are looking to help diversify their savings with precious metals like gold and silver. And they're turning to the top-rated gold company, Goldco. Right now, Goldco is offering you a free 2025 gold and silver kit. Plus, you could get an unlimited instant match and bonus silver if you qualify. Find out how you can diversify your savings, tax and penalty-free today. Call 855-969-GOLD. That's 855-969-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
Most shocking play of the week, and there was ton. From the block kicks and the punt returns, but still the reality that Patrick Mahomes made the best defensive play of the weekend on a backwards pass he threw, that he then went and stole the ball from a defender. The Chiefs might have lost that game. Who knows how the momentum changes if Patrick Mahomes doesn't get that ball back and the Giants get that on the 5-yard line and score a touchdown.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I kind of went off there in the first segment. Didn't really get producer Evan involved. Normally, there's a little back and forth in the open of the show. Wasn't as much there. And I didn't think I was going to be as passionate about things, but as we just continue to talk it out loud about Trey Benson's injury and spawning off of the conversation we had yesterday about the aggressiveness that this team needs to have, you just feel like they've got a small window here to do something. And if they don't, boy, I think the noise is going to get really loud around this team of complacency. And I can't blame people who would make that accusation against them. So we've got plenty more football here on the program today. I do want to talk some baseball, some playoff baseball going on right now. There was a bunch of playoff baseball yesterday that was drama-filled. And producer Evan, I'll tell you this. Pretty central theme yesterday across at least 3 of the 4 games. Having an ace pitcher really helps. It was Tariq Skubal in Cleveland for the Tigers. It was Garrett Crochet last night at Yankee Stadium for the Red Sox. It was Blake Snell reminding us why he has multiple Cy Young awards for the Dodgers. Having an ace at the front of your staff that can start a game 1 in a short 3-game series, boy, is that a beneficial thing to have.
It certainly makes it easier. I mean, even some of the losing teams, right? Like, Kevin Williams was great yesterday. He was great.
Thought Max Fried pitched well before he was
Nick Pivetta gave up the back-to-back homers. That's the only blemish on his line.
And real quick on Hunter Green, because I know there were some big expectations about Hunter Green going for the Reds, and just exciting to see a young pitcher of his caliber starting in the postseason. I'm not worried about Hunter Green at all.
No.
This is going to be huge motivation for him. And for this young Reds team in general, no matter what happens here, even if they lose tonight and they get swept, which it feels like is the expectation around this team, that playoff experience is going to mold this young group. And they've got the perfect manager to take even a sweep and turn it into a positive in Terry Francona. He's going to use that as fuel all spring long next year to get this young group to go to another level. So even losing is going to be beneficial to this young Reds team. And I expect Hunter Green to bounce back from a poor performance in game 1.
Certainly feels like if there's any team that you feel confident just based on their manager to take this kind of experience in the playoffs and learn from it, it's them. just because of age of the roster, you have to get these guys playoff experience. Did Hunter Green get smoked yesterday? Yes. Did they get punched in the face from the jump with the Shohei Ohtani homer? Yes. But you have your young ace get experience in a hostile playoff environment versus one of the greatest lineups this game has ever seen. You got to learn from it.
Yeah, and they will. And that's why I'm not too worried about that. But all across the games yesterday, I mean, you saw excellent pitching in the sport. And it just goes to show, man, pitching is the name of the game. It's why Mike Hazen, in the press conference that he did yesterday with the media, emphasized it as strongly as he did, that that's the thing this team needs to focus on. And I think it's in large part because their internal options aren't as strong on that side as they are with their hitters, filling first base, third base, the two outfield spots, figuring out who's going to be their DH next season. There's way more internal options for this franchise in terms of young players that could be ready as soon as the beginning of next year to contribute. Whereas on the pitching side, I think they're lacking. And you just have to find those guys, because boy, did it help Detroit on the road yesterday to have Tariq Skubal. Boy, did it help Boston on the road yesterday having Garrett Crochet match Max Fried all throughout that game, keeping the game close for Boston to get to that Yankees bullpen, which hasn't been good all season. And the Red Sox were able to go from Garrett Crochet all the way to Aroldis Chapman. Boom, end of story. Red Sox are 1 up on the Yankees, and now that team's facing elimination over the next 2 days. If you have an ace, if you have a frontline starter that can dominate the way you saw 3 different frontline aces go yesterday, it just changes your outlook. It changes, even if you aren't the quote-unquote favorite to win a series, it can be the difference maker that gives you a chance, right? And I find it interesting that outside of the Dodgers game last night, we're talking about 2 road teams that won last night. Why? Because they were able to set up their rotation to have their best pitcher go in game 1, and you have to have those games and their aces deliver. I mean, Tariq Skubal and Garrett Crochet, those were old school throwback postseason performances. You're going to have to rip the ball from my cold, dead hands, was the feel that you got from both of those guys yesterday in the way that they dominated for their respective teams. And they're doing it in hostile environments, especially for Garrett Crochet. That rivalry is fierce. It's been quiet the last couple of years, but back in the postseason, both teams being good, certainly was drummed up again last night. And he went out there and handled his business like it was a simple game in the middle of June. I mean, that's moxie. That's stuff that not every pitcher has, and you have to find those guys. And I'm not sure if the Diamondbacks will be able to find that guy in one offseason. That's why your player development is so important, or identifying that player in the way Boston did, right? Garrett Crochet in Chicago, they said, you know what? This is the guy. We'll pay a hefty premium prospect-wise to get that guy. So the Diamondbacks can look to do that. They need to develop their own guy, in the case of Detroit with Tariq Skubal. And yeah, in the case of the Dodgers, they paid Blake Snell. 3 different ways to do it, right? The 3 teams that had their aces dominate yesterday, one team signed, used big dollars. Another team traded, used their prospect system. The other developed the player. 3 teams, 3 different ways to get there, but you all saw the same theme. Having a frontline ace, it just changes the game. It gives Detroit a chance on the road. It gives Boston a chance on the road. It just completely changes your ability to, quote-unquote, pull off an upset in the case of those road teams in this series. And that's what the Diamondbacks will be searching for. Do I know for sure they'll be able to find it this offseason? No. But I do know that Mike Hazen talked about pitching being a priority, pitching being their biggest need. And he also mentioned this idea of utilizing the trade market, that there's not just free agency to improve the roster, that you can trade your way into filling some of the needs that you have with a limited payroll. Because he was asked about being worried. And we're going to talk about the payroll a little bit later on in the show and trying to figure out what the number might actually be. But if he was worried about being able to put together a competitive team with the payroll coming down from last year, and he was blunt and said, I don't worry about that. I've been here long enough. You guys know this from me. I'm not worried about that. I'll use the trade market if need be. It's not all about dollars. There are other ways to fill the needs that you have. And certainly when it comes to pitching, I would expect Mike Hazen and the Diamondbacks to search. And I know the name that everybody likes to throw around. I know the name that everybody's going to, because I'm just preparing everybody now. His name's going to come up. And I don't know if it'll be for the Diamondbacks, but Paul Skeens' name is going to come up this winter. I don't know if the Diamondbacks, let me think real quick off the top of my head, because I want to make a declarative statement, but I don't want it to come back to bite me. I'll say it. It's radio. It's what we do. I don't think I know the Diamondbacks don't have the farm system to be able to trade for Paul Skeens if he were to be made available. They would not be able to beat. I think there's 5 or 6 teams at least that could field a better competitive offer. But could there be somebody not in the Paul Skeens tier, but a Garrett Crochet type that could be available this offseason that you trade for? Sure. Certainly. I think there is somebody out there that will be dangled. Could it be Sandy Alcantara from Miami? Could Edward Cabrera in Miami could be on the move? Those are the types of avenues that I think Mike Hazen is going to explore to try to get a frontline starter, because you saw just yesterday the difference having that frontline starter could make.
You brought up Paul Skeens. I mean, I don't think there's any question from either of them. He's the best in the game. He is the best pitcher in baseball.
Schoolboy, Skeens,
other than
I go back and forth, but
certainly
yes.
the best in the National League, right? And so, do you have the farm system to go get Skeens? Maybe not.
No,
probably not. But
unless
there are
you're
going to be
gut the whole thing.
There are going to be other names available that could slide into that one spot, and then you're talking about a serious team come September, or if it is end of the year, that maybe you could get Corbin Burns back.
Well, I was just going to say.
Now you have a 1-2 punch that can compete with the best of them.
You do have an ace. You're just not going to see him until the middle of the year next year. And just to get ahead of it, he's not going to look like vintage Corbin Burns coming off of the Tommy John surgery. Just look across the sport. When guys return, it takes a little bit. And so we've always said that you're going to get the real Corbin Burns back in 2027, but you need a running mate. You need a 1A or a 2, because Burns is going to be coming off the injury. Burns is going to be older. I don't think it's fair to put those expectations on him to go back to being a Cy Young candidate, even in 2027, right? And so as he gets older, you just don't know what he's going to be able to provide. So you have to think ahead. You have to have that plan. And so I think Mike Hazen is going to look for that player this offseason. I do.
It certainly feels like they're going to have to do it via trade. So,
I mean, I guess they could bring back Zach Allen, but I don't know if he fits that bill for a lot of people.
We've talked about that deal for a while. What does that look like for the D-backs? Can they afford it? All of those question marks remain. It certainly feels like trade is kind of the most likely scenario for them to add a pitcher. This is a big offseason for Mike Hazen.
Yeah, it's huge. And I am a Mike Hazen fan. I'm a defender of Mike Hazen. I think he's a very good general manager. I think he understands how to operate in this type of market and knows how to use every resource imaginable to make the team better. And we're really going to see. That's going to get put to the test here this offseason, because this team finished strong. This team played well after the trade deadline. They have a core. They have something worth fostering. They have something worth investing what resources they do have into. It's just going to be very, very interesting to see how they choose to do that. And if you learned anything from the first day of the MLB postseason, it's pitching. Pitching. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. Anything on your mind, we'd love to hear from you today on the show. When we come back, Week 4 blame pie. Who is most to blame for the Cardinals' Thursday night loss against Seattle? Talk about it next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade 2026. Live at Chase Field, September 6th, 2026. With special guest, Jimmy Eat World. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit mychemicalromance.com.
We believe everyone deserves access to fresh food. That's why the Kroger Company created the Zero Hunger, Zero Waste program to share fresh food with the people in our communities. Our program and foundations have donated 3 billion meals since 2017. That's nearly 10 meals for every person in the U.S. Together, we can do more for our neighbors. Just round up your purchase at checkout. Fry's, fresh for everyone.
Every day, reliable, comfortable, connected. Every day you rely on power. At APS, we work around the clock to deliver some of the most reliable power in the country. But with Arizona's extreme weather, outages can happen. Stay safe and informed with alerts by keeping your contact information up to date. And visit our outage center for updates online or on the APS app. For more ways to stay safe and informed, visit aps.com/brighter.
This fall, choose Primavera Online, and you'll be choosing a school with flexibility, personalized support, and an award-winning curriculum that's over 20 years strong. Now enrolling grades K-12 at chooseprimavera.com.
I'm Bree.
Hi, I'm Sean.
And we are the Berquist family. We are repeat Fulton customers, and we've lived in a Fulton community for 6 years. We had been looking for a home, and so we walked into the Fulton community, and we were just absolutely blown away. When we walked into the model home, we noticed the high ceilings, the beautiful kitchen, the flooring, and the floor plan. We knew it was a place where we were going to raise our family.
And on top of that, we have a swimming pool and a good location here.
When you say the word community, you have to be able to see it and feel it. And so when you have your neighbors, you feel that community because you become friends, and it even feels like family, like a family community. And that is something that is priceless and can last a lifetime. We absolutely would recommend a Fulton home to our friends and family.
Fulton Homes. You're proud to own, we're proud to build. Scottsdale's so nice, we're doing it twice. October 15 through 18 at Westworld. The Fall Auction, presented by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Hundreds of collector cars in the all-new indoor Barrett-Jackson Fan Zone. Food, drinks, and live entertainment. Get tickets now at barrett-jackson.com.
James out west.
Mike Trout became the 59th player to hit his 400th home run. The home run record holder for the Angels. I was going to quiz you. Who do you think the number 2 is on the list for all-time home runs for the Anaheim Angels?
I would assume it's Shohei Ohtani.
Nope, Tim Salmon.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
299 for Tim Salmon. Mike Trout got 101 more than the next guy.
Naming a random MLB player that had a really good career.
Yeah, dude, I loved watching Tim Salmon, bro. I'm about to cut together some Tim Salmon highlights.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
Week 4, blame pie. Week 4, blame pie. We got to give it out here. It's been multiple weeks since we've given out victory pie here on the show.
Can I say something?
Please, you turn your microphone on. I'd love that.
This feels like a massive segment for us.
Okay, why do you say that?
The last blame pie, it wasn't our most riveting radio.
Oh, so you think there's
we need
pressure.
To bounce back and blame
Okay.
pie.
You know what? I kind of forgot how torturous the most recent edition of the blame pie was until you just brought it up. Maybe that's why we didn't do it immediately after the game on Friday or Monday or Tuesday, and we're doing it here in the normal Wednesday spot. I think we're going to be okay because I think there's a lot of candidates. I think there's a lot of slices to go around. I've got 6 candidates. 6? Can I do math? 6 candidates. All right. And I think we should start this the same way we do it all the time. We lay out the candidates. We then put anybody else on the list that we want to put on the list. And then we divvy up the pie from there. Fair enough, Producer Evan?
Fair enough. Love it.
Candidates that I have listed here. In no particular order. I just wrote them down as I thought about them. Monty Ossenfort, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jonathan Gannon, Kyler Murray, the offensive line, Chad Ryland. Those are the groups or people that I have.
List them again for me.
Monty Ossenfort.
Certainly.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Certainly.
Jonathan Gannon.
Certainly.
Kyler Murray.
Certainly.
The offensive line.
Love it.
I didn't get a certainly about that one. I was a little concerned. Chad Ryland. Now, there is somebody that's missing from this list. I did not put Drew Petzing down.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this game was on him. I thought he mixed it up. I thought he gave him some different looks. I'll be honest. I don't know if he deserves a slice.
That's why I didn't put him on there. So now we have to determine, and I caution against us going down this path because it led us astray last week. But let's decide who gets the largest share of the pie of these 6 candidates.
I
want to give it to Monty.
I think Monty gets 30% of this pie.
Because the first half was so bad, and that's on him. Like, the first half looking as bad as it did is on him for making 0 changes to this offense and expecting things to be different.
And we're talking about, like, as soon as Marv made a couple mistakes and you realized, okay, maybe we can't go to Marv, you're sitting there thinking, who are they going to throw it to?
Well, that's why you have to you have to keep Marv involved because he's so important to what you do. But you also need to keep Marv involved because of your point, because there's no one else to turn to. I mean, yeah, they can try to throw it to Trey McBride, but teams are just going to take that away. So Monty, I think, deserves a lot of this blame. How much blame do you want to put on Marv? Because I know he had the great second half, but the only reason why they were in the mess they were in, 2 turnover plays that I can directly link back to Marv that changed the complexion of the way the score looks at halftime.
Yeah.
2 interceptions directly on him.
The first one goes kind of unnoticed because the second one was so much worse.
He just stops running the route.
He stopped running the route. He stopped going for the ball.
And then he had miscommunications in the first half. I may want to give Marv more blame than Monty. Do we give them each 30%? They make up 60% of the blame?
That feels right.
All right, I'm going to write that down. And I'm
in all seriousness, without Marv, does Murray turn the ball over once?
No, it's a
and so that's how much can you give to Kyler when our argument for Marv is both interceptions are on him.
All right, so we've got 40% left to divvy up to Jonathan Gannon, Kyler Murray, the offensive line, Chad Ryland. I think Chad should be next up because, my dude, we just can't. You
can't do that.
We can't do that, right? You just can't kick that ball.
Can't do that.
So there's 40% left. You want to give him 20%? You want to give him 15%?
15%.
15% for Chad. Chad's getting 15%, leaves us with 25% for Gannon, Kyler, the offensive line. Now, the offensive line did not do them any favors running the football. They couldn't run the football.
We have 25% left.
We have 25% left.
Yeah, I think it's probably 5% Kyler, 10% on each the offensive line and Gannon.
So Gannon, 10%. The offensive line, 10%. And then Kyler's getting 5%. Just because it was a slow start. I feel good about that. Monty, Marvin Harrison Jr., each getting 30% of the blame. Chad Ryland, 15% because, dude, we just can't have that kick in that spot. It's so easy to score 3 points in the NFL right now and to just gift them the ball at the 40, where right now, 1 first down, and they're going to at least attempt it. 5 years ago, I don't think they send the kicker out there. Now, you're attempting it because you have
Tampa Bay kicked a 65-yarder this weekend.
You have such a good chance to make it. So much better than you did 5 years ago. And so when you set them up at the 40, you gift wrapped it for them. 1 first down, boom. They're at least going to get a kickoff to win the game. It's a tie game. They're at least going to get a chance to win the game.
You're going to play the Cowboys here in a few weeks. You can't give them 15 yards.
They get the ball to midfield, they're going to kick it.
They're going to kick it. And so I hate the new NFL kickoff rules, and I'll be the first to raise my hand and say I don't like them because, take it back 20-plus years, you have a kicker kick the ball out of bounds in a Super Bowl, and Carolina loses to New England because of it, right? But you've given yourself more window for these kickers to have a massive impact on the game on a kickoff.
Yeah, we just
you missed it by a half a yard.
We just got to execute better, right?
And you've given them 20 yards of field position.
Yeah. Where instead, if you make them field it, perhaps you tackle them at the 20 or the 25. It's a 15-yard difference. And there was, 28 seconds? So time's not on their side.
Yeah.
And maybe they're a little more aggressive. You can create a turnover.
Imagine what that does for the sideline, right? Well, if you're Seattle.
Imagine
where we're going to start and how we're going to address this now drive to go get 3.
Imagine you execute correctly on that and you put them behind the 35-yard line. If you maybe give up 5 yards, 8 yards, and you tackle them in space and they have to burn the timeout, they might just play for overtime. Completely, by putting the ball at the 40, completely changes the way they call the offense at that point. So that's why he gets 15% of the blame. Gannon, I thought, didn't do a good job turning things around early in the game, making adjustments. And I think not going for 2 was a mistake.
They made adjustments late. Sure. You can't fall down in a game like that. You just can't come out that flat in a Thursday night.
And that's on the head coach.
Prime time division game, and that's on the head coach. So they felt unprepared.
Monty, Marv, 30% each. Chad Ryland, 15%. Gannon in the offensive line, 10%. Kyler Murray, 5%. I think we redeemed ourselves this week.
Yeah, that was a really efficient blame pie.
Well, we had to be because we were up against it because, again, I don't respect the clock here. I went like 10 minutes over in the first segment. I have zero respect for what we do here in terms of like keeping us on track. I just ignore it completely. So we needed to do that a little quicker, and we certainly did. When we come back, wrap up hour number 1 here of the program. Buy or sell, hottest takes in sports talk radio. We will get to them next. So lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters, and we kept signing people to contracts, and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I got my first real 6-string.
Brian Adams, Roll with the Punches Tour 2025. A night full of hits, live at PHX Arena, Saturday, November 15th. With special guest Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Stay at the heart of it all with a special Cliff Castle room rate starting at just $99 with no resort fees. Less fees mean more ways to choose your next adventure at the gateway to the region's best gaming, entertainment, and natural wonders. And expect service from the heart as well. We think you'll love your stay with us and all the value we provide, starting at just $99 with no added fees. Cliff Castle Casino Hotel, at the heart of it all. Valid Sunday through Thursday. Some restrictions apply. An enterprise of the Yavapai Apache Nation.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond is worthy of a Shane Company engagement ring. Our team travels the world to see diamonds in person and handpick each one. That type of dedication only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. No matter your budget, your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Wrapping up hour number 1 here of the program, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. Thanks for hanging out with us today on the program. We close up hour number 1 of the show, a little buy or sell, the hottest takes in sports talk radio. Producer Evan throws them at me. I got to buy or sell. I did a lot of buying yesterday, if I remember correctly. A lot of buying.
It does feel like you did quite a bit of buying yesterday.
I don't know if I sold at all yesterday.
You did. You went 5-0.
Okay, I was going to say, you keep track of these things
because
way better than I do.
The one that you thought about was the Skeen Scooble conversation. You made it a Skeen Scooble conversation, but I think you did end up going with Skeens. Or sorry, with Scooble, which was a buy.
Yeah, Scooble's really good. And by the way, every time I look up at this Detroit-Cleveland playoff game, the pitchers are getting out of some level of jam.
I know. It's been fun to watch.
There's base runners on like every inning, and it's 1-1, but nobody's scoring. It's crazy.
Javi Baez with a 2-run single that put
a 1-run single. There was the ball was overturned at third base, and before
the run scored,
the out was made. So a huge replay assist there.
I'll be honest with you, because I don't have audio on our TV, and we were doing the show, I didn't even notice it's 1-1.
Yeah, they overturned the call.
I knew they called him out. I didn't realize the run didn't score.
No, Cleveland challenged it. He was out, and the out happened. The third out at third base happened before the run crossed the plate.
Oh, playoff baseball's awesome.
It's the best.
All right, you ready?
Sure.
The Cardinals will try again to throw the ball 40 or more times this week due to injuries in the running back room.
I'll buy the spirit of what you're asking. I don't know specifically if it'll be 40, but you're getting at they threw the ball a lot last week against a Seattle team that's just stellar against the run, right? They're just one of the best defenses in the sport in general, but they're really good against the run. So the adjustment that the Cardinals made was to basically not even try, and they just abandoned it, and they were down early. So when you're down multiple possessions, it's hard to run your way back into the game, so you have to throw it. So the opponent dictated that. Now, I don't know if the opponent dictates it this week against Tennessee. You should be able to do anything against this Tennessee team that's not very good. But now you're compromised in that room. You're down James Conner. You're down Trey Benson. And we were already wondering, with the success that the team had in the second half throwing the football, if they would try to do more of it. Now you're kind of being pushed into that direction instead of being, leaning in that direction with the Trey Benson injury. So, yeah, I do think they are going to try to throw the ball more this weekend against Tennessee. Perfect opponent to do it against, too, right? Tennessee's not good. And so if you want to make this type of overhaul to your identity offensively, you break it out against a bad football team. And you've had more time to prepare because you played on Thursday last week. It feels like the perfect time, and that's why I'm so worried that if it doesn't work, boy, you're just going to be back to the drawing board, and I don't know the way out. You doubled down on this offense. You didn't make any changes, and so you don't have really a lot of pivots left at this point if this doesn't work.
You don't really have anywhere to go if you can't throw the ball and you don't add a running back, right? Like, it just feels like you're stuck in the mud then. Yesterday's baseball shows that the Diamondbacks need to go out and add a starter if they really want to compete in 2026.
Bye. Especially because they're going to be without Corbin Burns in 2026, or at least for the first half. I know he's eyeing a return at the All-Star break, but you just need a frontline starter, and they just don't have that. Ryan Nelson was good, but I don't see him as a frontline starter. With only one pitch, I think the book is going to get out on him very quickly, and I think he's going to struggle to make the adjustment. Brendan Pfaadt at times has shown the ability to do it. He's just not consistent enough. It's not there for enough stretches for you to believe he can be that frontline starter. Eduardo Rodriguez is just a nice veteran that you have to eat up innings. So you're going to need two starters, and I think one of them needs to be of a high-end caliber, especially if you're going to try to compete. So bye, yes.
Aaron Boone made a massive mistake yesterday taking Max Fried out of the game.
Ugh. I go back and forth on this. I think the point I keep coming back to, I'll buy. I think the place I keep coming back to, and I hear the argument, you're paying Max Fried $218 million. He's supposed to be able to be out there in this type of spot. He's supposed to be able to go deep into a game, and the manager needs to rip the ball from his hand. I hear that, and that's a fair argument to make. I don't know why I'm in a rush to go to a bullpen that wasn't very good all season long.
I was going to say, it's not the Blake Snell conversation in Tampa Bay, right, where the bullpen gets them there. It's a very different conversation in New York.
Right. Tampa had a bullpen that was elite that season. They may not have been names that you knew, but they were really good. And so that was their formula all year. You stick to it. The Yankees' formula all year was, our bullpen stinks. We're winning in despite of it. And let's look at the candidates that they have out there. Devin Williams, their big trade at the last offseason, got removed from the closer role. Luke Weaver had a bad year this year after being their closer and their best reliever last year. David Bednar got here. Lost it at times. So you didn't have a bullpen of prime Trevor Hoffman and Mariano Rivera out there that you were turning to. It was a shaky group in general. So I just don't get the rush. I don't get why Boone rushed. And now he's going to have to manage extremely aggressively tonight. Carlos Rodon going for them. If he struggles early, you're going into that pen in the second, third inning, right? You're not going to wait. You need to win the game to force a game 3. Fans are going to be restless. So I think it was a massive mistake. Yes, I'll buy it. It's going to do it for us here. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Speaking of baseball, when we come back, how much money are the Diamondbacks going to have to spend this offseason? It's next. Lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Just 2 home matches left. Don't miss this one. Phoenix Rising hosts regional rival New Mexico United on Saturday, October 4th at 7 p.m. for Breast Cancer Awareness Night. Grab exclusive Rising gear from a limited edition trading top and merch line with a portion of proceeds supporting breast cancer research and treatment. It's a match with heart and high stakes. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours now at phxrisingfc.com. Rivalry, purpose, pride. Be there. Sticks. The Hits. Live at Celebrity Theater. Friday and Saturday, January 9th and 10th. With special guest Max Gomez. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. A trip through all their best. Don't miss Sticks Live. Produced by Danny Zalisco Presents.
The year-end savings have arrived at Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Right now, you can receive a 0% APR for 60 full months on all new 2025 Mitsubishi models. You heard right.
0% APR for 60 months on the 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander, Outlander Sport, Outlander PHEV, and Eclipse Cross. Think how much you'll save when you pay no interest. Come see us at the Scottsdale Auto Show at the 101 in Indian School.
The name to remember, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Go to scottsdalemitsubishi.com for full details on approved credit, another Mark Auto Group dealership.
To everyone counting down the days until pumpkin season, your wait is finally over.
The Salted Caramel Pumpkin Concrete Mixer and Pumpkin Spice Shake are back at Culver's for a limited time. And because nothing beats the real thing, every scoop of fresh frozen custard is made with farm fresh dairy, and every bite is filled with real pumpkin puree. So come visit us at Culver's, or order ahead in the app or online, and fall in love with these pumpkin desserts all over again.
From Wisconsin with love. Welcome to Delicious. To everyone who believes in magic, let our team member Teppy tell you how we do it at Culver's.
We're not talking about card tricks or disappearing acts. Wow. This is the kind of magic that transforms real farm fresh dairy into world-class Wisconsin cheese. We're talking about Midwest magic. Oh. It's about handcrafting every meal with love, because at Culver's, we want every bite to be turned into a smile. Order ahead in the app or online and come taste the magic for yourself.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Winco, we're working to save you money. Every aisle, every department, every day.
9 stores in the Phoenix area, including the new Santan Valley location.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Wednesday, making us a part of your day. I feel like this is going to follow me around all offseason. I feel like anytime we talk baseball, my comments earlier this week about bringing back Torey Lovello and the role of the modern day manager in baseball is going to follow me anytime we talk baseball, because you asked me a question about Aaron Boone making a decision, and I said that it was a mistake. And immediately, over on the YouTube side of things, we had some people say, Evan, it's not on the manager because this is communicated from the front office. And everyone likes to troll me. But unfortunately, you're making my point for me, because that's exactly how the Yankees do things. That decision was made pre-game. They decided which reliever matches up best with certain spots in the Red Sox lineup. And so with that chunk of the order due up, Luke Weaver was the guy that they felt most comfortable to come into that game. And they probably, before the game, decided a certain pitch number that they would start to spin the tires on making a move to the bullpen with Max Fried. So I hear you. You don't have to like it. Just telling you that's how the game works, and it certainly worked that way for the Yankees last night, led to a loss. They're now facing elimination tonight in Game 2 of that series with the Red Sox. Speaking of baseball, let's get back into the Diamondbacks here to open up hour number 2 of the program. When people in charge, when people in positions of power speak, it's important to listen and listen closely, because sometimes they tell you things without directly telling you. They give you little hints. They give you little breadcrumbs. And we pointed out this breadcrumb yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. Because Ken Kendrick, in talking about the Diamondbacks payroll, told everybody, told all of us, hey, you want to know about the Diamondbacks payroll? Go to Cots Baseball Contracts and look at how much money the Diamondbacks are spending on their 40-man roster. Because it's not just about the 26-man roster. It's the 40-man group. It's the 40 men that are on the team all throughout the course of the season that make up how much money actually gets paid out. Ken Kendrick gave you the answer to the test. You want to know how much the Diamondbacks spent last year? You want to know where they might be able to spend this upcoming season? Go look at what we spent last year. Go do the work. So, Mr. Kendrick, it's exactly what I did. I went to Cots Contracts this morning. I looked at the bill for 2025, and I saw that the total bill for the Arizona Diamondbacks is $212 million for the 40-man CBT payroll, collective bargaining tax payroll. And I looked at 2026. I looked at next year, a team that currently has $143.7 million on the books for next season. Producer Evan, help me out here. We've proven that we're not good at math on this program. What is 212 minus 143.7? If you could do that math for me and tell me what the difference is, that is currently the difference.
212.
Yeah, 212 was this year's number.
Minus
143.7 gives you a number of
68.3 million.
That's the current difference between the money they have on the books allocated for next year already in existing contracts and what they paid this year. And Ken Kendrick told you earlier this week, he's not spending $212 million on the team this year. They're going to spend, and they're going to keep things competitive, but they're not going to be able to spend to the level that they spent last year. So 212, not happening. 200 doesn't feel like it's happening. I don't know if 190 is happening. 170 to 180 feels more reasonable, which would give the Diamondbacks $35 million to spend. They've got players that are due raises via arbitration. They have players that are going to be eligible for arbitration for the first time that they're going to have to start paying. So some of that money is going to get eaten up there. So they're going to have to get really, really creative. My best guess is $40 million they're going to have to spend this offseason. I think that's best case scenario. Now, maybe I'll end up being wrong. I've been wrong with this before. I did not anticipate the payroll being as high as it was this year, coming off of a year in which they missed the postseason. I'm kind of doubling down on that here because it's 2 years of missing the postseason. But I am now at least factoring in that they're going to spend a little bit more than what's currently on the books. So I'm saying at best they're going to have $40 million to spend. Some of it's going to get eaten up by arbitration. And so that's why Mike Hazen talked about the trade market. That's why Mike Hazen said that there's multiple ways to build a roster. There's internal options, cost-controlled young prospects that can fill voids. There's free agency where you can spend a lot of money. And then there's the trade market where you can trade prospects in your system to get players that are under team control, that are under a contract, that aren't, costing you a lot of money. Now, in some cases, you have to trade for a guy and extend him. You have to trade for a player and then give him a big contract, right? Garrett Crochet. You spend big money in free agency like the Yankees did with Max Fried, like the Diamondbacks did with Corbin Burns. You spend big money. That's one way to do it. Diamondbacks don't have enough money, I think, this offseason to make that big splash. So they're going to be making a flurry of moves. I mean, I expect, is it unreasonable to think that there's like 5 or 6 trades coming for the Diamondbacks this winter? I mean, they're going to have to make a number of moves to make this team better.
Not at all. I thought about having that as a buy or sell. Like in over 4 trades. It feels like they're going to have to make that.
They have a first base situation to figure out. They have a third base situation to figure out. They have 2 outfield situations to figure out in left and center. I think they need to get a full-time DH. They have 2 rotation spots, and they're going to have to rework a bullpen.
And not that they're going to address all of them this offseason. At least externally, right? They're going to address some of those internally.
They don't have enough money
but
and resources to do it externally.
You're going to have to make at least 3 trades. Right?
I would imagine that they will make at least 1 trade for a starter. Part of me wonders if the money that they spend this offseason, if they make a quote-unquote big splash, and again, I don't know if they're going to have the money to make a big splash in the way that they signed Corbin Burns, right?
Yeah, that's a big splash. They're not going to have that.
They're not going to have that. Do I expect them? I think they may shell out some money for a reliever. I think that might be where they utilize the dollars.
And then where do you send it? Because we talked about it yesterday, very briefly, but it feels like Edwin Diaz is probably too rich for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to look at the relief pitching market that's available and see if there's somebody that's worth spending money on. I mean, Edwin Diaz is available. Raisel Iglesias is available. Kirby Yates is available. I know they were linked to him last offseason. Rafael Montero is available. Taylor Rogers is available. Ryan Helsley is available. They were linked to him before their season kind of got off to a bad foot, and then the Cardinals traded Helsley to the Mets. I mean,
Helsley didn't finish well.
Devin Williams is available.
Yeah. Listen, if you think he can fix it.
Right. If you think you can fix him, you're buying very low. It's not going to cost as much.
I was going to say, you're buying low. You're getting him out of, let's face it, you hate to say this, but he had success in Milwaukee.
Small market.
You go to New York, things get under a magnifying glass, and he struggled. Wonder if coming back to an Arizona market or something like that would help him.
You bring back Shelby Miller. You bring back Jalen Beeks. There's relievers everywhere. But if you want a high-end reliever, I mean, Edwin Diaz, I'm looking at it here. The projected market value for him is $18 million. I
was going to say 20 is probably what he gets, right?
Is that really what you want to spend all your money on? Robert Suarez from San Diego is available.
What's his projected value? 15?
16.8.
16. It's a little high for him.
I just don't know, because I think the team is missing a veteran reliever. And again, they're going to get Justin Martinez back at some point next year. AJ Puck's going to come back at some point next year. And so those guys are your closers. But I think when it comes to the 2026 team, I don't think it's fair to expect them to be able to be the closer. So I would rather swing a 1-year deal for somebody like a Ryan Helsley, like a Devin Williams, right? Devin Williams would probably take a 1-year prove-it deal and then cash in the following season.
Certainly. That's what I was going to say, too. If you're Devin Williams, you're 1 year away, one decent year. It doesn't even need to be great, from telling everybody else, hey, that was a fluke. What can I get now, right? Look at everything I've done in Milwaukee. Why not?
Just trying to see what
you come here to play in Arizona, and you would be, let's face it, the guy. You'd be the guy here. He would walk in and pretty much immediately be the closer on a prove-it deal.
Market value from Spotrac, projecting what his number could be, has him at about $6 million.
I was going to say 8.
I mean, would you right now sign Devin Williams if you could?
If I can get him at $6 million,
I'm even going to go bigger than that. If you said right now I could sign Devin Williams to a 1-year and $9.5 million deal,
I think I would do it too.
I would do it. It's somebody who not that long ago was a premier closer in the game.
I mean, 2 years ago, a conversation for the best closer in baseball.
In 2024 with Milwaukee, in the regular season, played in 22 games, he had a 1.25 ERA and had 14 saves. The year prior, 61 games, had 36 saves, had a 1.53 ERA. Now this year, yes, he's had a 4.79 ERA, only 18 saves. He's been a disaster. He gave up the home run in the postseason last year to Pete Alonso, has never been the same since that moment. But I have multiple years of him being 3 years, 21, 22, and 23, of him being an elite closer. Was injured in 24. In the games he did play, he was great.
I mean, just go back even before that when he's the 8th inning setup guy, right? In 21, he is the 2.5 ERA in 58 games. Then the 1.93 in 65 games. Then a 1.53 in 61. Before this year, he had 3 straight seasons of an under 2 ERA. I get it. He was bad this year.
I think
I'd give him $9 million tomorrow.
If I'm the Diamondbacks, I think it is in my best interest to look for projects like this.
Yeah.
Because every dollar is going to matter. And somebody like a Devin Williams where, okay, I'm going to give this guy a 1-year prove-it deal. And here's the best part, right? Here's the interesting wrinkle to all of this. Devin Williams would probably want a long-term deal, but I don't know if the total dollars is going to match what he wants because he's 31 years old. But if you gave him a 1-year prove-it deal and he was great, but the team wasn't very good, now you've got a trade chip at the deadline. Everybody's looking for relief help at the deadline. Everybody's looking for somebody in the bullpen who can get outs. And you're going to have Devin Williams, who formerly was one of the best closers in baseball. If he has a bounce back year, those are the types of moves that Mike Hazen's going to have to look for across the sport. Projects maybe at first base. Can I get somebody who's really good at defense? Can I get somebody who is a project maybe? Because you don't have a ton of money to spend. You're going to have to get really creative. And guess what? I think this is where Mike Hazen thrives. When he first got here, the payrolls that he was dealing with were way lower than the payroll he's going to have this year. So he knows how to deal with stuff like this. He knows how to deal with a limited budget. He knows how to get creative. And I haven't done the full, free agent deep dive yet. Baseball's still going on. But just doing some quick looks, I mean, there are some players out there that you could go out and get that, yeah, they're going to have flaws. Yeah, they're not going to be perfect because you're not spending at the top end of the market. But they are players that could fit what you are trying to do and could make you better. I mean, just looking at first baseman. Could you go sign Ryan O'Hearn, who was with the Padres but was with the Orioles, 31 years old, who this past year hit 17 home runs, had an 803 OPS in 144 games, lefty bat, who can play some really good first base defense and give you some pop? Not going to cost a ton because he's 32 years old. Those are the types of moves that Mike Hazen needs to be looking at in addition to exploring the trade market. I think there's a world where you can go out and build a competitive team, even with a limited payroll. So I don't think they're going to have much to spend. At most, I think it's $40 million. So temper your expectations accordingly. Create your dream offseason accordingly. I'm starting to, I don't know if you can tell,
I'll be honest.
I mean,
2 names we've thrown out there. Already love the prospect of adding Ryan O'Hearn. He just lengthens your lineup. He was really good this year. Really, really good. And the Orioles were bad. And he was kind of a bright spot that they were able to move. And then you talked about Devin Williams. I understand that it's a project, but it's not a project of a guy who he had potential and we think we could get him to finally figure it out. No, this is a guy who's had a ton of success, has awards in Major League Baseball, right? We're talking about a reliever of the year twice. And you have the chance to get him at under $10 million. I mean, those are 2 moves I love for this D-backs team.
I keep scrolling through different
I'm already
positions.
jonesing at the bit. I'm so excited.
Harrison Bader to play center field. Like I'm going through the positions that I know they need and looking at options that aren't going to break the bank. I mean, Bader does everything that you want a Diamondback to do. Plays great defense, plays with speed,
steals bags,
steals bases, creates chaos.
I'm a Bader fan.
Crushes lefties.
Yeah, it's really come around on Harrison Bader.
So, I mean, there are ways to do this. Just because there are limited resources doesn't mean they can't build a really competitive baseball team going into next year. And I'm sure as the rumor mill starts to kick up, as we get into November, into December, winter meetings, GM meetings, there'll be plenty of rumors out there. We'll share our thoughts on what they should be able to do. But just a first look, knowing that this team is going to be limited in what they have available to them, I still think they can field a competitive team. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, it's Wednesday, which means a top 5 list. An interesting wrinkle on the top 5 list today. Since I'm gone for the next 2 weeks, our top 5 predictions of things that happen while I'm gone. That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Ben DiNucci, NFL quarter. I'm still going to introduce you as NFL quarterback. Being on the practice squad, what's the difference in how you're treated, lifestyle?
Honestly, nothing's different. I mean, there's 53 guys on the active roster and there's 16 on the practice squad. And the reality of the NFL is that guys are going to get hurt. There's a reason that these teams put a lot of effort into the practice squad, just like they do the active roster. It's really all the same. You're still traveling with the team. The pay cut's a little bit less, but at the end of the day, it's still great.
Live Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and the KTUS 1060 app.
Head coach Brian Wright and the Lumberjacks are setting a new standard in Flagstaff.
Happy with our attitude, our effort, how we've come together as a football team.
Join us Saturday. NAU hosts the Montana State Bobcats. Our coverage begins at 1 on your home for Lumberjack football.
Skips his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Lumberjacks.
The NAU Lumberjack Sports Network from Learfield.
Hosier presents the Unreal Unearthed Tour 2025 live in Phoenix. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, October 7th. With special guest, Amble. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The #1 album, Unreal Unearthed, is available everywhere. For more, visit hosier.com.
Raise a beer to the best event of the year. Four Peaks Brewing Oktoberfest is back at Tippytown Lake from Friday, October 10th through Sunday, October 12th. Named one of the best Oktoberfests in the country. Enjoy local and German beers, authentic food, live music, contests, carnival rides, and more. All ages welcome. Get your tickets today before it's too late. Visit fourpeaksoktoberfest.com. Don't miss Four Peaks Brewing Oktoberfest at Tippytown Lake, produced by Tippy Sister Cities.
It's the grand opening of Fulton Homes' newest master plan community, Acclaim. This beautiful community features open spaces, multiple parks, and a large aquatic center. Visit FultonHomes.com. Fulton Homes. You're proud to own. We're proud to build.
Right now at Scottsdale Mitsubishi, you can receive 0% APR for 60 full months on all new 2025 Mitsubishi models. You heard right. 0% APR for 60 months.
Think how much you'll save when you pay no interest.
The name, remember? Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Scottsdale Mitsubishi.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. With the injury history of pitchers, it's easy to understand why teams hesitate to hand out long-term contracts. But if you watch yesterday's wild card openers, you were reminded exactly why front offices keep looking for those pitchers and handing out massive checks. Because they're the difference in October. Look no further than Detroit's Tarek Skubal or Boston's Garrett Crochet. Both stepped onto the mound with their seasons hanging in the balance and delivered a masterful performance. Skubal, electric. He went 7 2/3, 1 earned run, 14 strikeouts, and the Tigers won it 2-1. Moments later, Crochet authored nearly the same masterpiece, 7 2/3, 1 earned, no walks, 11 strikeouts, and the Red Sox won 3-1. In a 3-game series, efforts like those are invaluable. Hitters may slump, defenses may wobble, but an ace, his game travels. October arrives, no investment carries more weight than a great starting pitcher who can dominate. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Maaco's running a paint sale right now, starting at just $499. How about that? Now, if you've been thinking about maybe doing something with your car, don't pass up this opportunity, okay? There's dents, dings, chip paint. Maaco's seen it all. But for this price, take advantage of that, and you could give your ride a fresh look. Free estimate. They'll work with your budget. They'll get the job done fast. No pressure, no judgment. A fresh start and you're going to have a national warranty to accompany it. And they're community-based, great people to work with, somebody you can trust to make your car look nice. A fresh ride. They've been doing it for over 50 years, and it's easier than ever for you to take advantage of this. Your car could use a little love. Now's the time. But don't wait. These paint sales will not last long. Visit Maaco, that's MAACO.com, and find the nearest location. Schedule that free estimate. And with the paint sale starting at just $499, your car is going to look awesome. Better get Maaco.
KTUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
Even if Troy Aikman pretty much said the NFL product sucked last night, he's not wrong. I thought this was supposed to be a brand new Jets. They're more dysfunctional and more undisciplined than ever. You know what would actually be brand new for the Jets? A new head coach starting 0-5. That has never happened, but it looks like there's a very good chance it's about to happen.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Boy, that segment got me fired up for Diamondbacks offseason. I'm ready to go. Start making moves.
Yeah, we talked about quite a bit there during that break.
A lot of different options. There's not one singular way to build a baseball team. You can do it a lot of different ways. You just have to be able to look under the hood, get creative, and be willing to explore everything. And I think the Diamondbacks will be able to build a winner. It's a top 5 list. It's a different top 5 list. And I've mentioned it this week. I'll continue to remind everybody. I'm gone for the next 2 weeks. Kayla will be sitting in this chair. Remember Kayla from hosting the Sports Zone with her and Bob? She's filling in for me the next 2 weeks. I'm out of here. Producer Evan will still be here. Don't worry. I'll still make picks. I'm sure I'll be texting producer Evan thoughts that he can share with you, the listeners of the program. But in the meantime, we had a top 5 list that we needed to do. And I thought it would be fun if we made predictions of what I'm going to come back to in 2 weeks. So there's no particular order with this.
Can I also ask a question?
Sure.
What's the date you're back?
So I am back. I don't know the date. Hold on. Let me pull up a calendar.
Is it post Cardinals Packers? I was wondering that.
You need to tell me what day that is.
That is October 19th. Cardinals Packers.
Cardinals Packers. Imagine thinking my calendar app on my tablet here would work correctly. The first show, I am back sitting in this chair Monday, October 20th.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
So with that in mind, do you want to go first?
I can go first.
Okay. Again, no particular order on these. We're just making predictions of what I'm going to return to and want to rant and rave about on Monday, October 20th.
Producer Evan goes 6-0 in his 6 picks.
Let me tell you, I have on my list that I'll make this my first one that I share. I didn't have it in an order, but I'll share this one first. It is on my list that when I return, I will have at least a 2-week buffer on producer Evan in the picks. Like I already have a 1-week buffer. I'm going to have a 2-week perfect buffer.
No, you're not. I love the spreads this week. Love them.
I haven't even started to look yet.
Yeah, that's because you're behind.
I'm ahead. So how about you don't judge the way I go about this?
How about this? I'll throw you with a little bit of curveball. Don't be surprised if I make a move tomorrow night.
Wow, he's already it's Wednesday and he's calling his shot about a 3-point play for maybe not a 3-point play for Thursday Night Football, but you're considering dipping your toe in the water for Thursday Night Football. I'm the only one that's done it on the program. Listeners can't do it, so it has to be one of you or I.
I'm dipping my foot in for Thursday Night Football.
I almost considered putting like some team listener stuff on my predictions, like
I didn't even think about that.
Team listener implodes while I'm gone, but that didn't feel specific enough for me. Now, so Bryant, now over on the YouTube side, they are starting to share their predictions. So of what the show looks like while we're gone, or what happens while I'm gone, what I'm going to return to. The first one is that the lunch break goes to 3 hours while I'm gone. As the program director of the station, I can tell you that is not happening in the 2 hours that I am gone, because I would need to oversee a lot if we were doing that. That is not going to happen. That prediction will not come true. But stay tuned. That's all I'll say. Just stay tuned.
I like Brian's second.
That you are hosting the first hour solo?
Yeah, calling it Evan's Happy Hour.
It's not bad. It's not a bad idea, actually. All right, what's your next prediction?
All right, my next prediction. Wait, do you not want to trade? Oh, I guess you did give one.
I shared mine about having a 2-week lead over you when I return.
The Cardinals go 1-2.
You stole mine. One of mine was the Cardinals win one game.
I figured I was going to do that. There's just no way this team beats the Colts or the Packers.
No, and the game that they win is this
It's
against Tennessee. And so they're not. I'm going to come back to a team that's going to be 3-4. I'm going to walk back in here, a team that's below 500. At that point, it will be 4 of their last 5 that they've lost, another 2-game losing streak. Like, that's what I envision walking back into on that Monday.
That is what you're walking back into.
I just can't see it right now with this team being able to go and beat Indy and beat Green Bay.
I would be, and I know I said this before, I would be shocked if they beat the Indianapolis Colts. Green Bay, I don't know. They've looked weird the last 2 weeks.
Let's see how they look here.
Yeah.
The next couple of weeks. But yeah.
They got to right the ship a little bit. Indy?
They're the better coach team. They're more talented. They have Micah Parsons. Like, just so much that lends me to believe that they would win that game. All right, so we're 2 predictions in. You've stolen 2 of ones that I've had. So keep going.
All right, my next one. The Phillies and Cubs will advance to the NLCS. The Red Sox and Mariners will advance to the ALCS.
Okay, I don't have one like this. So I will share another prediction. ASU finds itself inside the top 12.
Oh, I like that.
So they play Utah next week, the first week I'm gone. I'm expecting them to win that game, obviously, by making this prediction. The next week, they play Texas Tech, I believe. That's the 18th. They play Texas Tech. I believe they win that game as well. And by the time we get there, they will be ranked inside the top 12. So I expect them to go 2-0. We're going to talk about this a little bit in hour number 2 of the program of what they need to do, how well they need to play in October. I'm predicting that they win the next 2 games, and they're inside the top 12.
So I will tell you that very similar to one of mine, which was the Sun Devils remain undefeated in conference.
So, again, you think both of these games go ASU's way. It does start to feel like things have turned a corner a little bit for this team. Winning 2 gritty conference games the way that they did, one on the road, one at home. They're getting battle tested again. It feels like they're solving their red zone woes. They're putting a major emphasis on it. They can run the ball with anybody in the country. That gives them a chance in any game that they play. The defense is creating turnovers and taking the ball away. That's another equalizer in close games. Can you run the ball, control the time of possession? Can you manufacture turnovers to give you an extra possession? They just do all of those things really well. And so I think they're going to get this offense. Again, this is Kenny's background. He's an offensive guy. Sam Levitt, best player on the team. So you expect that the light bulb is going to go off here at some point, and they're going to be off to the races. So that's my next one. I have a Suns one that I'll share. The Suns add Tom Thibodeau to the organization in some official capacity.
I like that. I didn't even think about that.
This is me kind of trying to will something into existence. But he was seen at training camp. He was somebody that I thought they should have interviewed when they were doing their head coaching search. And I think if he wants to join this team in any capacity, even if it's just as a senior advisor, boy, I would bring him in and let him be a sounding board for Jordan.
My last one. The Cardinals make a trade for a running back or receiver.
I didn't have something like this on there. If you don't mind, I'd like to piggyback off of this one with you, that the Cardinals make a move that is a statement for Monty as a GM. It is his first major blockbuster. Josh Sweat was his first major blockbuster free agent signing. I think we will see Monty's first blockbuster trade because I don't think they're going to have a choice.
No. It feels as if, for Monty and for Gannon, the clock may be ticking faster than we had originally thought. And I think now they're starting to see the writing on the wall of that.
Yeah, you win this Sunday against Tennessee. You're 3-2. You have games against the Colts and the Packers and then the Cowboys the following 3 weeks. You're going to want to get reinforcements in for that stretch. So be working the phones now. Again, maybe you don't do something in time for this Sunday's game. I don't think that's big of a deal. It's that big of a deal. I think you can win this game, no problem. But those next 3, you're going to need somebody there reinforcement-wise, either in the running back room or as a wide receiver too. So there you have it. 5 predictions each for each of us. Some overlap of what is going to happen while I am gone for the next 2 weeks. And as John points out, Kayla, former pro golfer. So I'm expecting some golf.
I'm taking a backseat driver to the former pro golfer.
I'm just saying maybe there can be some golf predictions from you. I don't know if there's a big tournament coming up for you, but I'm sure you can sneak in a golf story or two in the leftovers.
I'm going to.
Yeah, there you go. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, ASU, a very important month of October. How many games do they have to win? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
The most shocking play of the week, and there was ton. From the blocked kicks and the punt returns, but still the reality that Patrick Mahomes made the best defensive play of the weekend on a backwards pass he threw, that he then went and stole the ball from a defender. The Chiefs might have lost that game. Who knows how the momentum changes if Patrick Mahomes was to get that ball back and the Giants get that on the 5-yard line and score a touchdown.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. Saturday, October 25th. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pileup. Tickets from $30. On sale now at livenation.com. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Part of the American First Credit Union Concert Series.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long, whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside. This is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Luis Gonzalez. Like me, Casino Arizona is uniquely Arizona. It's been some time since I hung up my cleats. That's why it's nice to feel as welcome here as I did when playing at home. From the friendly smiles to the winning celebrations, this is where I love to play now. These days, my favorite players are all gathered around the blackjack table. And yes, they can hit. Want to feel as welcome as me? Join Salt River Rewards. They treat you right. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona.
When is Kate getting here?
Should be any minute. She was on one of her Goodwill treasure hunts.
Treasure hunt? Oh, here she comes. And in an amazing new jacket. Ready to rock, guys? You definitely are.
Where'd you get that?
Don't you love it? I got it at Goodwill.
Kate got it at Goodwill. With hundreds of thousands of unique items arriving in-store daily, you can get it at Goodwill too. Find your convenient neighborhood location at goodwillaz.org. Nonprofit for good.
Hey, Mr. C, it's me. Well, I just picked up the ring. I actually went to Hellsberg. Thanks for that recommendation. Kate's gonna love that hers is from the same jeweler you got Mrs. C's ring from. They were so helpful throughout the whole process. They even knew your family by name, and the ring looks great. Anyways, I just couldn't wait to let you guys know. Call me back and wish me luck.
Hellsberg, designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
And now, name something dads can do at the Arizona State Fair.
Have your first kiss on the Sky Ride.
Yes. Hold purses and a beer and a turkey leg and still look cool.
Yes, you are correct.
The 2025 Arizona State Fair, open at noon Thursdays through Sundays in October. Check out azstatefair.com for tickets.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Back here on the lunch break, Chris Schubert with you. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's the bye week for Arizona State, but 3 big games coming up in October. First, Saturday, October 11th, they're at Utah. The following week, they return home to take on now currently ranked 11th in the nation, Texas Tech. And they close out the month with another home game against Houston. The meat, the heart of their Big 12 schedule. They have a softer part of November, although they have a tough game to start November. But it does feel in many ways, Evan, that this Sun Devil season is going to make or break with their October schedule. These 3 games and the way they play in these 3 games and the results of these 3 games are going to dictate whether or not this team returns to the Big 12 championship, if they have a chance to repeat as Big 12 champions and go back to the college football playoff. You win these 3 games, I think the road is paved for you.
You win these 3 games, and I think the most important thing is you buy yourself a little bit of leeway, right? You got a little bit more runway because you win at Utah. If you win at home versus Texas Tech and you beat Houston, you're talking about Iowa State coming in on November 1st, and who knows what the conference will look like. But the way it shaped up last year and the way it's shaped up in previous years, it doesn't even feel like as much of a must win for Arizona State anymore before you have kind of a weaker finish to your schedule.
Just got to be in the top 2 spots to play in the Big 12 title game. Let's break it down. You beat Utah. You would be 3-0 in conference. Utah would already have 2 conference losses. Huge, massive, like game-changing if they're 1-2 in the conference.
Yeah.
Texas Tech the following week. Okay, Texas Tech right now is 1-0 in the conference. So you give them a loss. You then have the tiebreaker head-to-head against them. That's massive. And Houston right now also 1-0. They would have their first conference loss, depending on how the next 2 weeks go, 3 weeks go for them. And you'd have the head-to-head against them. And so you'd walk into that Iowa State game undefeated in the conference. They're also undefeated in the conference. To your point, I think you earn yourself a mulligan.
Because not only would you have the same number of losses as a Texas Tech, you had then beat them head-to-head, right? So you have the tiebreaker over a Texas Tech. And then you're only worried about the teams you didn't play, the BYUs who's 1-0 in conference, right? You're only worried about some of those teams. You don't have to worry about Baylor, who has the 1 conference loss. You beat them. You have to worry about Utah, who at that point would have 2 conference losses, and you've beaten them. You just give yourself so much runway to have 1 slip up.
Right. You look at it right now. They beat Baylor, so they have the tiebreaker over them. They beat TCU, so they have the tiebreaker over them. They play Colorado and West Virginia in the back half of the season. Both of those teams are 0-2 in the bottom of the Big 12, so you're not worried about them if that's where you slip up. You shouldn't slip up there, but you're not worried about that coming back to haunt you. And so, man, if you can take care of Utah and Texas Tech the next 2 weeks, and they still have a road match against Iowa State, that's huge. But, man, you win these next 2 games, you're back being in pole position. You're back being considered the favorite to win this Big 12, and you would put in the rearview mirror the slow start. If you win these next 2 games, that would be 5 wins in a row. I think we would forget about you struggling against NAU, losing the way that you did to Mississippi State, struggling against Texas State, the slow first half against Baylor, the slow first half against TCU. You beat Utah in Utah. You come home and beat a Texas Tech team. By that point, could be top 10, depending on how the results shake out.
Certainly.
How is this team not got a red carpet to go to the Big 12 title game? Still got games to play. They still got to do it. But you set yourself up so well. Whereas the inverse, you struggle the next 2 weeks. I don't know how you make it up.
You're fighting an uphill battle because then you're talking about Utah only having the 1 conference loss, having the tiebreaker. Then you have to, it's a must win at Iowa State, who's a very good football team, just so you can get the tiebreaker in case they lose another game, right? If you fall these 2 games, you're in serious trouble of not having a chance to play in the conference championship game, and that's your only path in.
I think, would it be fair to say they have to go at least 2-1 in the month of October?
Yeah.
They can't go 1-2?
Yeah, no, you can't go 1-2. 2-1, you have to, you will win the Houston game most likely. Don't want to knock on wood. Don't want to get away or do the show before the show. But you just have to split at Utah, and home against Texas Tech.
You can't go 1-2 and the one win be Houston and you lost the 2 big games you played in the month. You have to go 2-1 because that means, yeah, you beat Houston. And again, we're doing the show before the show. We're looking way ahead in the crystal ball. But that means you split against Utah and Texas Tech and you only have 1 conference loss. I can accept that. If at the end of the season you have 1 conference loss and that's not good enough to get you in the Big 12, I don't think I'm putting that on you.
Okay, you did it. You did your job. Because even if you went 11-1, even the slow start doesn't matter anymore, because if you only had the 1 conference loss and you didn't get a chance to play for the conference championship game, you can't put that on them anymore.
Which game is more winnable? Is next Saturday at Utah or home against Texas Tech more winnable?
It's an interesting question because Utah's the worst team.
But they're on the road.
But they're on the road, and playing at Utah at night is its own challenge. You beat Utah last year. That also means they're coming in pretty amped up to play you for a revenge game.
And Texas Tech, mind you, gets Houston and Kansas the 2 weeks prior to playing ASU.
And flip the conversation on Texas Tech, who took it to Utah just 2 weeks ago.
34-10 in Utah.
In Utah. The conversation with them is, well, they beat ASU last year at home. Now they have to travel to play Arizona State here. Arizona State's going to want to show them what they got now. It's a different team.
Do you find this interesting? I didn't know this until I looked at it. Both Utah and ASU are coming off of byes.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Weird that it worked out that way. But Utah off this week after beating West Virginia last week, 48-14 at West Virginia. They get a week off, then they play ASU next week. Then they're at BYU the week after. So they have a little bit of a gauntlet as well. That may help you out. That's why if you beat Utah, they have a tough match the next week against BYU. Like, you could start to separate yourself a little bit. And we saw last year. Did we not learn this last year? You got to create separation.
You have to.
I mean, tiebreakers galore last year to try to get in for ASU.
I mean, I remember doing Big 12 has something on their website where you can fill it out if certain teams win certain things.
It'll tell you
and I remember doing it okay, in this variation, ASU gets in. And then the conversation was, well, we control our own destiny now, unless, X, Y, Z, T, and S happen.
I think it came down to the Iowa State-Kansas State game, if I remember correctly, last year. So you got to take care of business in these big games. And so for me, it's got to be a 2-1 October. You got to split. Now, mind you, I'll take a 2-1 where you beat Utah and Texas Tech and maybe you slip up against Houston. I would take that as well. But if you split Utah and Texas Tech and you beat Houston and you have a 2-1 month, I think you'd be happy with that. I think you should be happy with that if you're a Sun Devil fan. I would take it.
I listen, 2-1, you split at Utah, home against Texas Tech. You just got to win the Iowa State game. Right? Just got to win the Iowa State game. And that's the most important thing for ASU. Take it 1 week at a time.
If you go 2-1 against Utah, Texas Tech, and Iowa State, you should be playing in the Big 12 title game.
You probably will be.
Right. No, what I'm saying by you should, you're good enough.
Yeah.
To then go and beat West Virginia and go to Colorado and beat Colorado and then beat U of A the last week of the regular season.
It just means you have to take care of your own business, right? And some of those games are just, you hate to say this, against weaker opponents. You don't want to jinx anything. But it's not going to Iowa State. It's not playing Utah at Utah. It's not playing Texas Tech at home. You buy yourself runway if you win these next 2.
Huge month. Massive month starting next Saturday. And unfortunately, I'm not going to get to preview either at Utah or home against Texas Tech, the 2 biggest games on the schedule with you. When I come back, we'll know. We'll know how they did in those 2 games. But boy, I'll tell you what right now. I'll get ahead of this. They beat Utah and Texas Tech. I made the prediction that I think they're going to be ranked inside the top 12 because I think they win both of these games. They're 6-1 at that point. They would have 3 marquee victories in a row. TCU, Utah on the road, home against Texas Tech, who could be a top 10 team in the country. ASU is going to start to be talked about again.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about, you said top 12 is certainly top 15, right? Certainly top 15 team. And then you're in the driver's seat in the conference. And people, again, are talking about you as a playoff team. And then you start having the question, because of the bye situation this year, can you get up to 8 to host a playoff game?
Right. Can you put yourself in a position to be hosting a playoff game if and when you win the Big 12? Yeah, it's a huge, huge month. And it's going to really, I think this month's going to teach us a lot about, was last year a fluke, or are they starting to build something in a big way here?
We're certainly going to know. That's the other thing too, is for the first time this year, it just feels like, okay, you can sit back and be confident in this team. Like, even obviously you were confident starting the year. Then you have kind of the slip up weird game versus NAU, but like, okay. And you lose the one in Mississippi State, and you feel like you kind of, for a couple weeks there, couldn't get your feet back on the ground. Now your feet are on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You got the bye week. Take a 4-1 start. Just win the conference games, and you are in the driver's seat.
Going to be a fun month. Going to be a fun month. When we come back, we wrap up today's edition of the program. It's all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the show. We call it the leftovers. We'll get to it next. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
James out west.
Mike Trout became the 59th player to hit his 400th home run, the home run record holder for the Angels. I was going to quiz you. Who do you think the number 2 is on the list for all-time home runs for the Anaheim Angels?
I would assume it's Shohei Ohtani.
Nope, Tim Salmon.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
299 for Tim Salmon. Mike Trout got 101 more than the next guy.
Naming a random MLB player that had a really good career.
Yeah, dude, I loved watching Tim Salmon, bro. I'm about to cut together some Tim Salmon highlights.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060. Stevie Nicks. One special night, October 7th, PHX Arena. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Stevie Nicks live at PHX Arena.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed, all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
At Winco, we're working to save you money. Big savings on top quality meat, produce, seafood, and deli. Bakery fresh breads, cakes, and cookies made daily in store. Low prices on top quality national brands and thousands of our own private label. In every aisle, every department, every day.
9 stores in the Phoenix area, including the new Santan Valley location.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Producer Evan, what is on the docket to close us out here on the Wednesday edition of the show in the leftovers?
Well, Cleveland just took a 2-1 lead.
That's Stephen Kwan. No, it's Brian
Rocchio
hitting a home run to put the Guardians in front in the bottom of the 8th. They're up 3-1 now. I think it was a 2-run shot. They need the game. Tigers won yesterday, so they need to win to force a decisive Game 3 tomorrow. There in Cleveland. Place is going absolutely
Insane. Funny story about Cleveland that was part of the leftovers, actually, so it just blends right in there well.
Are we doing this? Are we talking about this?
Chase the Louder?
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about Shedeur Sanders. You mentioned Cleveland.
We can get into that if you want. I was going to stay away from that.
Don't want
There's
to.
not much to talk about because he didn't do much talking.
Right. And if I tried to do that here on the air, the blue light would go off, signaling that we're off the air because it would be
certainly.
noise.
But no, the Indians called up their
the Guardians.
Sorry,
that's all right.
The Guardians
happens. $1 in the jar, but the Guardians
called up their top prospect Chase the Louder yesterday.
Yes,
and today he makes his major league debut in a must-win playoff game, and it has been a roller coaster of a debut because he drops a ball in the first inning that should have been his.
Let me just he Aaron judged it.
He certainly Aaron judged it, but they didn't give up a run.
No, they got out of it. It did not
they get out of
them
it
the way that it did
and
for
then
Judge in the World Series.
He comes up and guns McKinstry at third
to make sure that
the other run doesn't score, and now it's a 2-1 Cleveland game.
Oh, it was a solo home run. Okay. Yeah, I mean, just playoff baseball, man. Unlikely heroes coming out of nowhere, right? I mean,
to call a guy up and make his first start in a must-win playoff game, I don't know if I've ever seen pressure like that on a first MLB start.
Kyle Schwarber, World Series.
Yeah, but even that, he had played in 15. Coming off the ACL, you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, he had, limited time the year prior.
Yeah. Obviously, he has the big 15 playoff series against you guys. He was the only way the Cubs could score.
But had very limited experience up to that point. But yeah, you're talking about a debut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, certainly pressure packed. Shows you the trust that they have in him.
I know.
You put a guy on a roster for 3 games and you maybe have him just in case for injury. They played him today. Elimination game. Win or go home at home. They started him in center field.
And I was going to say, it's not a pinch hit.
No,
they started him as the
him.
center fielder today against the Tigers in a win or go home playoff game.
The belief that they had in him to be able to do that today.
Quarterback news. Jaden Daniels is cleared to return to practice after his knee injury. Looks like he will play this week.
Jaden Daniels back. They looked okay without him. They won a game. They lost a game. Certainly he's a difference maker. That
they did lose to Atlanta.
And obviously his availability changes how you view this Commanders team. But I would say Marcus Mariota going 1-1 in absence of Jaden Daniels is exactly what you want your backup quarterback to do. I think Washington's going to just be able to pick up right where they left off with Jaden in year 2, looking great. And I still think they're a force to be reckoned with in the NFC.
Bucky Irving was in a boot today, moving around using crutches. Huge loss for Tampa Bay. What's it mean for the rest of their season?
Well, they're already down Mike Evans, right?
Certainly, yeah.
He's down for the next couple of weeks. And so just puts a lot of pressure on the young players that they have, right? Rashad White's going to have to step up if Bucky doesn't play. Chris Godwin's coming back for them, so they'll need him to contribute in the passing game. And Baker's just going to have to execute the offense. So, look, I trust Baker. Doesn't matter who's available, who's not available. He finds a way, just what he's done throughout his entire career. But certainly this is a rough patch for this Tampa team dealing with all these injuries to their skill players.
3-time All-Pro Shaq Leonard will be retiring with the Colts.
They put out a video this morning retiring as a member of the Indianapolis Colts. Speaking of the Colts, Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones.
Is that it?
Yeah, so I just wanted to reference.
And the Temple of Doom.
Yeah, I just wanted to reference Danny.
I just love, like, that building has previously been known as the house that Peyton built.
Yeah, no, it
now is called the Temple of Doom.
It's the Temple of Doom.
Because of 4 games from Daniel Jones. It is awesome. I'm so all in on the Colts this year.
They're fun. And
Let me ask you this.
And we like stories that are fun. That story is fun.
What's the plan? Let's say they do go win 10 games, make the playoffs.
Then you keep Daniel Jones. If they go to the playoffs and they win 10 games, you keep Daniel Jones.
You trade Anthony Richardson?
They would trade Anthony Richardson this offseason.
For what?
I don't know.
I mean, cash considerations, a player to be named later. I know those are baseball things, but I'm just...
How long have you been watching football?
A 7th-round pick?
How long have you been watching football?
My entire life.
You know there is some young gun offensive coordinator that thinks he can fix Anthony Richardson and is going to campaign to give up a day 3 pick to go get Anthony Richardson.
In all seriousness, is it a 5th, a 6th? I'm not paying over a 5th at all. A 4th has too much value.
I think you'll be surprised on what the compensation is.
All right, are you ready?
Kenny Pickett went for a 5th.
Are you ready for what I think it is?
Sure.
I think it's a 4th round pick as well as a pick swap in the 5th round.
Kenny Pickett went for a 5th, right?
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson's worth more than that.
No.
Anthony Richardson might be worth a 3rd.
Kenny Pickett, didn't he play a playoff game? Kenny Pickett won games in the league, at least.
Not as talented as Anthony Richardson.
Certainly not.
So I think you'd be surprised at what the compensation is. But yes, if they win 10+ games and they make the postseason, I think they're bringing Daniel Jones back, and they're going to consider trading Anthony Richardson this offseason.
Do they don't pull a Vikings?
No, because I don't know if Richardson can take over the way they thought JJ could take over.
Yeah.
Even though I think Anthony Richardson has the higher ceiling. Jim Rome's coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody, have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See you.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX